All right, 7 p.m. is called. Roll call, please.
Director Burke,
Here.
Director Clayton,
Here.
Director Steiner,
Here.
Director Reader, and Director Leader absent.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, this is open forum. Board has discretion to limit the amount of time set aside for public participation. Normally, speakers will be limited to 5 minutes, but the total allotted time to public participation of 30 minutes. However, the board president may modify this time limit if deemed appropriate or necessary.
Hi everyone. Today we're just here to talk about our senior class trip. We are planning on going to Village Point Shopping Center for lunch and shopping, and then we're gonna go to the Tree Rush Adventures in Bellevue, Nebraska for our activity. You guys should have itineraries, but we also have them if you guys would like to pay for them.
We raised $4,100 this year with our donut fundraiser. We raised enough money that we can pay for the kids to go to Tree Rush Adventures and additional costs for food.
We will leave around 8:30 in the morning and return around 5:30 in the evening. And we are just asking for permission to send a bus out of state.
The document is under the action. Great, thank you. Well, they don't have it.
Okay. All right.
I'm here for the social committee as well. We would like to do another fundraiser during conferences. This year, we'd like to try something new, a TAT the Teacher fundraiser. So during conferences week, kids can bring in money to buy small, medium, or large tattoos that their teachers will get to put on the following week. So the week after conferences, teachers would put on these washable tattoos. They're not gonna last long, but just thought we'd try something new for the social committee.
Not permanent?
Not permanent, unfortunately, yeah. I didn't know if the teachers would go for that, but we're looking to do just another fundraiser for social committee.
Thank you. All right, on the old business.
Any other?
Any other? Forms? All right, now on the old business. Set agenda.
Okay, on the consent, we have the normal reports and do you see the last board meeting minutes? Let me. You might have to refresh. Click into another spot, then click out. Those will be there.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Okay, so general fund, compared to last year, we're at 57% of the budget compared to 60%, but very similar to the year before at 58. So revenues are going good on that side. Expenditures are actually looking very well at this point of the year at 54% compared to the last 2 years at 55%. So we're making out pretty well right there, as long as that trend continues. The activity fund, oh, did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Activity fund did not have a lot going on in the month of February, but it will in March with jubilation from last weekend. The management, we know the story on that, and going with the new budget to solve those issues. We're looking to be right around 39,000 at the end of the year. Sales tax, as we look at it, we have coming in, we're at a balance of 383,000. We've received, it says 101% of the revenue, but we will be receiving more revenue. So it's going to exceed what we were expecting. They were really looking at this year's sales tax not coming in as well as it has. And I think I even mentioned that in some earlier board meetings. Anyhow, going on to page 2, the PEPAL there, 59% of the revenue is coming in at 429, and that will still continue to come in. 269,000 out, 51% of what we have budgeted. And nutrition for the month had a deficit, but I don't think it did the previous month. It's all how the state and the federal funds come into nutrition and how many parents are paying lunches at that time. But all in all, it's really looking good at 258,000 at this time of the year for expenditure. We'll see how that flushes out, but we should have a similar year to end as we have an annual. And the key measures already. And we talked about this before, redoing the budget, and most of this first page is about the general fund. And the big key item up there is looking at on the far right where it says 38%. We're at for our budget year, and the previous year was 37%, previous year 38%, so right on target, keeping things normal. Unspent authorized budget, a little higher than we were last year. What we're projecting doesn't mean it's going to happen. We're sitting pretty good there. And solvency, when we talk about cash, we're projecting a 57% compared to last year's 60, year before at 58. So right in the same line, but maybe a little down from last year. That's kind of what we thought. Second page, going back to this, we'll be amending the budget in May to fix those at the bottom to make the budget all line up. And so we're looking good on that realm. Any thoughts or anything on the bills? Any questions? The activity fund was pretty good. I think we have some negatives. Melissa didn't put anything in this, but I know, one of them's done some fundraising. The other one's going to have to do some fundraising this summer. And that one is esports, but that's all because of going to the state. And he'll probably do some softball, baseball concessions. And they have another chance of going this season too. So working on that. Any questions? Any of that?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. New business. Shelby.
So March 5th, we had our preschool open house. We had 32 students sign up, plus we already have an additional student that will be in preschool again, so 33 kids for next year, which is a pretty good number. Field trips, our first grade classes went to the Children's Museum in Omaha. Kindergarten's prepared to go to the circus. I think that's April 10th. Second grade, they are planning something a little different this year. They're going to the Durham Museum in Omaha. It touches on like pioneer life, Native American life. Book vending machine, I talked about that before. So the design is finalized. I put Westwood Foundation's committee, it's the Westwood Education Foundation, so they donated the book vending machine, so we'll get that here. Bean Stack, transitioning from AR, like I said last time, so instead of reading for points, they're reading for pages. We had another kickoff this morning with Allison Kenny, she's our librarian, she's kind of taken the lead on this and done a fantastic job. So teachers are excited, they're gonna pilot it first, and then we'll introduce it to kids here when we get back from spring break. I didn't put in there, but we do have a spring concert coming up for our TK5 kiddos, a vocal concert. We have elementary playground committee, just looking at the potential of new equipment and surfacing for the upcoming school year. We also have Q3 conferences coming up. ISAS testing begins the week of the 13th, so we've been prepping for those. We'll have PD up over that. And then again, Lori Kunkel, our curriculum director, she's just been going around and seeing just a list of materials of what we'll need for the upcoming school year. All good things.
Thank you.
Shelby.
All right, Matt.
Just kind of piggybacking off Shelby there with Lori, really trying to decide between Alex, which is a math-only intervention, and then IXL, which would cover multiple content areas. I know the teachers are more comfortable and have used Alex, but just trying to decide whether we need IXL because it covers more content areas. Math is the area that we show on ISAS that we need the most interventions and the most remediation. So we think we got a good thing going there right now for students that took the practice tests in January and have been doing some prep and interventions for those coming up in April. We had a student move in from within the state. Junior in high school has 8.5 credits. So we enrolled her at the Gateway to College program in Sioux City. Really that program, with us being so small, it saves kids like that. And I'm glad that we still hold positions there and are allowed to give this student a chance to graduate with a diploma and not become a dropout. So that program does a good job for us. Continuing with May term, Nathan Filestra, a graduate of Westwood. He's the ranger down at Blue Lake, but working with him to get some things going and so we can work out at Southwoods and up at Browns Lake during our May term. At Jubilation this last weekend, event was great. Just kind of across the board, we're running out of people that want to volunteer, I think. So it's really going to be determined if we can continue to have an event like that with people doing 12, 15-hour shifts as a volunteer. So other than that, spring sports have started up. Track numbers are a little lower than last year, but we had a big senior class graduate, so they'll start and have an indoor meet next week in 2 weeks up at Mount Marty. So vehicles will be going to that, and then golf has quite a few boys out and girls is at 12, so, good participation in our activities this weekend is state archery. Quite a few students that are going to do that, so. Yeah.
Justin?
The heat exchanger is in. Jay touched on it last month, said it was an air handler. It was the heat exchanger in the back. It's in, it's working. We got it in. We worked, shut the hot water down Friday at noon, and by Saturday at noon, we had hot water back. So it's up and running, it's making hot water, so we're good to go there. That same Friday is the day we had rain. We had 2 major roof leaks in the building. One of them happened to be on the gym floor, so it is turned it into the insurance. We're waiting on a couple guys to come in and tell us what we have to do for the wood floor. Service master come in 5 days. I think they ran their water extractors on the gym floor. So got it to lay down the best they can, but it's still buckled a little bit. So it's out of the playing surface, but other than that, a lot of work for jubilation for us. This year was probably, of the 6 years, this is probably the worst, as much we had to do as a school this year. So other than that, that's all I have.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, Jay?
Okay. We have ISAPs coming up for assessments, and I'm going to take you just through a couple of educational reports we glean off that. I'm not going to, there are 6 of them there for you, but I'm not going to go over each one. But if you'd open up the first one, the elementary reading, and you see as an elementary, 3rd through 6th grade takes these tests, it's 85% proficient. Each grade is listed there at their proficiency. The line is 100%, so that's up there, but 6th and 4th grade, we're at 89% last year for that. This is English language arts. For those grades, you can see the male, female, we have more girls in those grades than we do have boys. And the EL is non-language speakers, which 15% of those classes. On the left side, it goes with, you can pull it down from grade, like it tells you how many, again, males, how many students are in special education and not SPED, and free and reduced lunch and non-free and reduced lunch. Information that we're going to use to help glean some of this data, what it's like in each class. At the top, it kind of, you see an NPA that's non-proficient, proficient, and advanced. I didn't do those for you, but those pull those 3 levels out, so we can look at those by grade, and we can also look at it for those students by gender or ethnicity of how those groups are doing, so we can devise a plan and attack where we're needing to do better. So again, I've got math and science for you there, and then secondary, the 3 of them. We talked a little bit about the classroom clinic. Occasionally they send me impact sheet, how we're doing, and I'm not sure if we, as a board, have gone over this in the past. So far this year, we've had 233 therapy visits. These are students that go to a room and there's a computer there and they talk to someone online. We received these services. The first year was a grant. Second year, they just continued it, and we're in year number 3 as it continued. They're hoping, and I've already signed up for it. If it can be free, we'll have it again next year. Okay, so there we have that. So we have 6 males and 8 females. 64% of those are on Medicaid. Service delivery, It takes about 18 days before the first appointment. And it's not as simple as just, I don't know the details, maybe Amy knows them better, but it's not as simple as just turning on the computer and someone being here. They have to go through the process, parents have to be notified and all that. Anything that you want to add to the?
Parents come to the appointments, the first one, and then, it's, the nice thing is that we as a school we're able to kind of input what we see from the student, the parents are able to input it. The student isn't missing much class time, the teachers do a wonderful job of helping those students make up what they missed, so it's a value to our community because parents, after that first appointment, don't have to necessarily miss any work time, and students are missing minimal class time.
They can help regulate, like if a student's on medicine.
Yes,
They can.
yep, that is a service that we provide as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of what I wanted to go over. The other stuff is the other data is one for us. Just darn glad that we're able to have that. Okay. And we'll probably repeat this the next board meeting, but we've got the finance funnel here for you. And you can take this if you want it at home, otherwise you can leave it here. We'll bring it out each time. And since we are missing 2 people, we'll probably do it again, but it never hurts to go over it. So the general fund is in green. So you see at the top, state aid, property taxes, income surtax, and federal funds all go in to the general fund. The ISL, instructional support levy, is comprised of property tax and income surtax. That's that other bar. So what's used in that? Everything can be used in that, but staff, energy, curriculum, all those pieces of the puzzle. As you may have remembered from me stating this before, in the staff category, that's 80% of our budget. Each year is different, so it could be a little more, a little less. It's usually around that 80 mark. So the management fund is pink. It comes directly from property taxes. You've got your property and casualty insurance, your workman's comp, and if you offer early retirement policy. The purple is your PEPAL, and property taxes, income surtaxes go into the voted PEPAL, and just property taxes go into the board portion of PEPAL. That pays for buildings, buses, transportation, technology. Property taxes go into your debt service and the bond. We don't have one of those. Sales tax, your state penny, directly goes there. Buildings, again, equipment, technology. Our language is the same as PEPAL. Say are the exact same uses. And that language comes from being voted on by our community. And Pearl, I'm not even sure, there might be one district in the state of Iowa that still has that, but it's basically the playgrounds and it, they try to phase out. It's going that way. So neat little thing to see how you do that, where the money comes from, where it goes. Again, staff, only the general fund, and that's the biggest piece of this puzzle. Any questions on that? All right, we'll keep buzzing along. Okay, so this is not an action item, but wanting to get your thought process. The Western Valley Conference is talking about admission prices. I've included a sheet on other conferences in the state that are at $7 or $8. And some of those costs for junior high and JV games. Western Valley Conference is always free for JV and junior high. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we've been at $6. The question is, do we move to 7? And that's for you to give a head nod of how you feel about it. But as our referee costs keep going up and now perks being into it for refs, for us to be able to keep junior high and JV free as a conference, the thought process is to move it to 7. Do you have any problems with this? Or do you foresee?
Quality goes up.
Well,
What'd you say?
The quality of it goes up.
I don't know.
That's-
I don't know.
when I watch college pro, then I question those.
Yeah.
So varsity right now is $6, you're saying?
Yeah,
And we want to move to 7 to cover
yeah.
costs.
To prevent us from charging for junior high.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we don't charge our children. I guess I should say that. And that's kind of what it's saying is all the other boards are.
What does a roughing crew, or what does it cost for like a
It
basketball?
depends on the sport, depends on how many they do. It's, I don't know, 140.
Yeah, I was gonna say 160 for basketball per guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you gotta have 3.
Not right.
That for
That's
Girls
just for
and
one
boys.
game. Well,
Yeah, that's girl boy combo.
For the 9.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think where you have to.
Well, it'd be nice to leave the junior high free. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd
Yeah.
rather raise $1 more. I mean,
Moving here, 12 years ago, that was a huge perk that I had never seen before. I thought it was great.
the junior high now is
Yeah.
free admission.
No, it's worth it. All right, I will let them know that. Okay, we're still working on a secured entrance project using existing SAFE funds. I just talked to Chad White today. He called and we talked a little bit about the timeline, letting us know that, if we can make it into the summer with lead times and all those things, it would not probably look like in time for school to start to be totally done. Now, he's gonna start working on some schedules, talking about some other things to maybe speed up the process or what it could look like, but, so we're still working on that and kind of going through everything, and, it may end up becoming, as time goes on and if things get harder to get, maybe it's the next summer thing. But
Who's Chad White?
I'm sorry, that's Chad White, graduated from here.
Yeah.
He's with Klinger.
Okay, I know
So,
Chad. Yeah.
We worked
I'm
with
just
him,
curious who he was with.
we worked with him through the whole other project.
Okay.
Okay, I figured you knew.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, playground, as Shelby said, we met today, working on that. I'm working with Park Planet, which is part of the AEA purchasing agreement. That means we can get one bid. And I hit the wrong number. It is 10% off. I'll go ahead and change that. I wish it was 20. And there's still a lot to this, and we're trying to get everything there. It's just as complicated as everything else. So the goal is to bring something to the board in April. All right.
Now we just get done with the summer.
Yeah, that would be the goal on the work schedule. See where we fit into that. Again, the longer we take to approve, then harder to get the best.
That's
That's
why I was asking.
Yeah.
April, you know, the world works, but
We may have to,
you might,
we've done before when we needed to do things like this, to do a phone call board meeting to get approval to start a project. Usually do those at noon, on the phone
you know,
and done. Boy, we haven't done one of those for a long
to
time.
set my alarm.
Okay, so, kept in communication to you about our transportation and our review that went on last Friday. Out of that, we're getting a lot of the buses back in service that were taken out. As you know, and I've talked to you about this one, 3 has an appointment this coming Monday in Sioux City. That's our spare wheelchair lift. Can't be in service until the wheelchair is working. We were supposed to have it apart on 5. That's our other wheelchair bus. Did that part arrive today? It didn't make it today. Okay. So as soon as it gets here, that part can get in and we can have 5 up and going. So one of the handicap buses will be going. And it sounds like Ryan's doing a few things for us later in the week and this weekend. So all of our 30-day fixes will be completed by that time. We had, and I think I told you I had 2 out of services that I got fixed that day of, and 2 30-days got fixed on last Friday. Got those 4 up and going. So,
where were those repaired at then?
those were just mic fixes.
Okay.
Yeah, ran down mics and got them taken care of. Yeah. Okay, so that leads into employment. I let you know that I put up on the website and the state website, employment for transportation director. I've had a call. I told you I talked to some people, but I actually received a call on that. And so we're gonna make headway in trying to look to see how that works into our current system, so we can have someone here taking care of the issues. Any questions on that? My last item is in April during our board hearing for the budget. We'll also have the calendar. That's when I usually do it. It seems like everybody else is approving their calendars early, and I just always done it in April to have the hearing. But it's good to drag the feet this year. I think I told you a little bit. The state put in a second count for January 15th, thus making us wonder, do we need to prolong our first semester to then, so we don't have any early graduates leave and then cost us financially. So even though those students wouldn't be here, you build your program around that number of counted kids. So you can't like cut a half a teacher at that time to make up for the amount. It fluctuates. I think I told you this year we had 4, so you would lose 2 student counts in that. Some years we've had 8, 9, 10, so it can be really costly if it goes through without any changes to it. Everybody's hoping they'll change it because most of the area districts that are like us and usually end first semester before Christmas have set their calendars that way. And they're hoping there's a modification because they weren't thinking about that. You know, and they weren't thinking of, you know, like the Sergeant Bluff has sometimes 40, 50 kids graduated early, and Sioux City High School that has 100 kids graduated early. It makes a difference to how you plan for the year. So we'll see about that, and I'll keep in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Action item. Like the second reading board policy.
These were all changes based on ISB. I made a easy recommendation there, so you don't have to listen to each one.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the presented policies.
I second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Now the first readings.
All right, first reading, these are all same deal, same scenario, except they have to do with federal protection classes. So we've got 5 of those policies in there, we'll have another 5 next month, because these take a little time doing. And the crazy part is, with retirement and hire, on most of these, it has the guidance counselor's name. So we'll have to redo them all this summer.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of the presented policies.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, we'll go to resignations.
How are we doing on time? I'm just checking to make sure Todd hasn't tried to pop in. Hasn't yet. Okay, so we've got 3 of them for you today. 2 of them you knew about. They were in there. Marilyn Lewis, our custodian, retiring effective November 16th. So she'll be around in the fall to train for replacement. So we're excited about that. Vince Johnson is head girls basketball coach. And then the one that I received today, this afternoon, was Alicia Van on band. They're all 3 linked in there, and I hope I have the appropriate recommendation for you to read.
Make a motion to approve the resignation for retirement of Marilyn Lewis as custodian effective November 16th, 2026, with appreciation of her service to the district.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation of Vince Johnson as head girls basketball coach with appreciation of his service to the district.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Make a motion to approve the resignation of Alicia Vanderhoff as band teacher.
I second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. All right, hiring.
Okay, we have one for our opening of guidance counselor, Kelsey Schramm, who's the current Woodbury Central guidance counselor. Matt can talk about the committee process of that.
Yeah, like I
Nice
said,
committee.
it was one of those positions where I didn't think we'd have anybody apply, and we ended up having 6 people apply. Kind of narrowed the field down to people that were currently in the position, doing the job, and interviewed 3 candidates. Kelsey just kind of was one that the committee all agreed would fit our district best. She's a former ag teacher at Woodbury Central, highly involved in the Woodbury County Fair, said a lot of good things about meeting students where they're at and making them really look outside the walls of our school to what they want to choose as career. So I think she'll be a good fit. Several years ago, she did observation hours here as a student under Mr. Whitten. So I think she kind of knows how our district runs things. So I think she'll be a good fit.
How long has she been at Woodbury Central?
She started out at Mills, so I think she's will be on steps 8, I believe, so 7 years, I think.
I forgot to even tell Matt, I had 2 people on Monday asked to apply. That's a true.
Wow. And we're expecting maybe nobody.
Right.
Really?
Well, I mean, there were several positions left open all year long.
Right.
Around this, I mean, Sergeant Bluff had a position open all year.
Is this Kelsey just, looking to move or just, I'm just curious. I'm not,
Yeah,
sounds great. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
curious.
just think she was looking for, kind of to broaden her self, she was a Woodbury grad. When
That name sounds,
she was a Sands, Kelsey
Woodbury.
Sands,
What's that?
she was a Sands,
Oh, Sam, sure.
yeah,
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think, just kind of give herself a good foundation. I know she has aspirations to teach at a college level, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for Kelsey Schramm as high school counselor.
I second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, fundraisers.
Had a teacher.
I'll make a motion to approve TAP teacher fundraiser.
Second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Did you see in the flyer that it's principal to
Yeah, I love that.
What about the superintendent?
face tax?
Yeah. I feel like that's gonna be in there somewhere.
Now, can only kids purchase these tattoos or can?
Seth's interested.
Yeah. My husband's gonna love me when I Yeah.
I don't want to take from Shelby's. But definitely if her canvas is full, then I will.
I do want to take your Jay.
Neat.
All right, let's go to the consideration of the senior class trip.
I'll make a motion to approve the senior class trip to Tree Rocks Adventures in Omaha.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, let's go to the consideration of the district career and academic plan.
Had those links in there for you. Connie had it. Sent them to me for your review. We do this annually at this time of the year. So it's not anything different.
Get back to the screen, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah, I was,
No,
I'll make a motion to approve the district career and academic plan.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, let's go consider bids for preschool playground surface.
Okay, well, as you can tell, I don't have a full recommendation till we talk this out. The first bid we received, first of all, go back, I let you know that we tested the preschool playground surface. It needs replaced, the squares are out of line. No one knows, and we have no data on exactly how old it is, but we know it's 15 plus years. Things are gonna be weather hardened after that. So we know this needs to be done off the top. Soft surfaces, I've been talking with him and working with him for a few years now. Yeah, he came back in the picture before Christmas, wanted me to check out a playground they did in West Des Moines. Incidentally, Christmas Eve, I was in West Des Moines and we went and played at their playground and checked out the surface. And very top notch. I would say they probably have the highest rated tiles in the market. This is, again, for the preschool, there's a concrete surface already there, so nothing has to be done. They would take out, dispose, put the units in, and that's at a cost of, and that's linked there, $29,412.10. Okay, so we talked about Park Planet. There's a state bid. They have a pour in place. And that one comes to $36,428. So I talked to them about tiles. They also do tiles. And that bid came to $22,897. I think their tiles are probably a little more generic compared to soft surfaces from what I can tell and the price, but they would still be tiles that would probably, last a decade and a half. Not being my area of expertise, the bottom link is poured in place versus tiles. We're going to review, this is just from AI. They know everything. And just kind of what's that mean? What's poured in place mean? What's rubber tiles? And it's really what you have the budget to do and what you want to use. Obviously when you talk about ADA accessible wheelchairs, students that have other mobile means, poured in place is the way to go. Rubber tiles, you have the curl risk with heavy use, and that's part of the problem with what we have now. But again, they lasted long time. Then it made a little chart for you and a summary. Thank you, AI Gemini. If we were to use a tile from either of the two companies, that would cause the pour in place for just the elementary to be a little higher, because what Park Planet would like to do is do both of them at the same time. Which, again, just to make things more confusing, is when we look at this and the elementary equipment that we're looking to put in, roughly from the bids, and I got to make some changes on equipment from our meeting today, but we say it's $150,000 for the equipment that we're gonna put in. Pour it in place is gonna cost around $192,000 to $200,000 just for the service. Costs more than the equipment and the labor to put in the equipment and take out the old just for the service.
What's the life expectancy on that?
It's supposed to be longer than tiles, but no one gives you.
How long do these tiles last?
Well,
Since you were in school.
about,
I think they,
I'm just curious.
I think it was the year or two before I came, so it's probably, I've been here 17 years.
And we have,
Lasted a long time.
Yeah.
A long
and we
time.
have poured in place out there right now.
It's a new equipment.
Oh,
and it, you know, the tiles are the same as the carpet tiles that we have in the school. One gets dirty, you put one into place. Same with the tiles, poured in place, you have to have them come forward and fix the spot if something goes bad. And generally speaking, probably there was a cause to it. That probably wasn't just your normal tear and wear for 20 or so years. Our pour in place that's in the new equipment that we currently have now is
Right on the borderline.
yeah. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. When the guy from Soft Surfaces tested it, we haven't tested, it met for all the areas except for the tall, where the equipment's very tall, then it's in that range of needing some change. That also could have been the whole time. So, yeah, when we've talked about, do we just get the equipment done first, and then in a year or two do the pour in place? I mean, it comes down to numbers as we get a little bit closer. We looked at them tonight. I don't know if we really can do the whole thing this year. But
I suppose it's easier with no equipment in there. I mean, I don't. That's what I mean. You take the old out, they do the surface and they put it back. I mean, how does it work?
Well, they'll have to prep the ground. I mean, that out there is gonna need a lot of prep. I mean, so I mean, when the equipment's out, it's the time to do it.
Well, that's.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to prep the, yeah, sorry.
I mean,
That's what you
if
were
you don't,
asking?
If you put the equipment in, then you're gonna come back in. What I'm saying,
It's gonna need a lot
cost
of prep.
more doing it the other.
Yeah,
I mean, surely.
well, they'll have to put the equipment in and then pour around it. You know, no matter what, the pour in place, the equipment has to be in place.
Has to be there.
But you got a lot of prep work that needs to be done because that ground out there is muck. So why the old equipment's out is when you would take that muck out and put it in there and prep it for.
Yeah, but,
So what's this? It doesn't feel like are we just considering the bid here?
well, we don't have to approve them at this time. But yeah, we are considering, and if there's a route to go.
I don't think we're ready for that. Do you?
Well, that's the thing. I don't,
but
it's almost the two are together, and we need a little more knowledge on how we're going to go on the other side before we do this.
Yeah, I think that's the way.
I mean, obviously the port place is better. I mean, it's,
That's what AI said.
well, you've got, I mean,
Yeah.
how long has that port in place been there?
I'd say about the same time as,
When you put that new equipment in, that port in place, stuff was when, that's what, 10 years maybe?
I didn't put that in.
We did.
Oh.
I would have said they were done about the same time.
So that
Do you
was
think it was
I
here when you
I
came?
don't know.
Huh? That wasn't here when I came, that poured in place stuff was, no.
13 years
no.
or 13.
No, it hasn't.
So
I'd
probably the 15,
Yeah, right, like 13 maybe, yeah.
So I think we can practice.
right before me. That's a bit new, but I.
Yeah, I think.
Just table this for.
Yeah, the slough
Yep.
broken off.
That's
the first.
I mean, don't you guys agree? Yeah.
Understand, probably, but I don't, I mean, I hear you, I gotta do something. I mean, there's a little bit to
Don't do it wrong.
consider, probably.
All right. He gravels more.
It always did.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table the consideration of the preschool playground surface.
I second that.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
This is, I think this is one.
Yeah, this is.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting on 3/18/26.
Second that.
You have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes, meeting adjourned.
And we've got April 1st for our first budget hearing, 6:30.
April 1st, that's on the funny stuff.
Yeah. I won't let you
You're gonna have to
forget
do that. You know, you're gonna have to do that. Now, what day is that on?
Monday.
You
Mhm.
have to clear your schedule.
No, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
When?
It's Wednesday. Monday, we have that late meeting at parent-teacher conferences.
You'll forget it, we'll just
I'm
remind you.
just gonna have to. I'll forget it. Someone else.
You won't forget it because you'll be here to buy a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Did you, I heard windsuit.